Thank you so much. Thank you. As already introduced, I'm Stephen Mwansa. Indeed, with honor, gladness, and as well as gratitude in my heart, I stand before you this morning to commemorate this year's Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival, which is held under the theme celebrating Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival, feeling the Chinese culture, and my story with CCS, which I'll also dive into cultural communication with the Chinese. But before I could go any further, may you please allow me to say thank you very much and to the official dignitaries present here, the management and the board as well, both the Zambian and the Chinese and Zambians, all the members present, and everyone who is in this place. I say thank you very much for being in attendance, as I also say good morning to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, this festival is very important to all the Chinese because it is so dignifying and unifying them. It is what brings two families together. It brings them in unity. It brings them in union. Therefore, it is very important to the Chinese. That is why I stand this morning to say unto you, may you all give them a thunderous Happy Money Festival. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may you let it be also a very important and a fact unto you all to acknowledge the fact that the Chinese have come in their own fashion and they have found Zambians in their own fashion. And in this fashion they have found the Zambians. They are speaking a language that is not known to the Zambians. The Zambians cannot understand the language of the Chinese, and the Chinese also cannot understand the language of the Zambians. That is the language they have made to speak. Each and everyone wondering what is it they are going to do for them to get along. They are asking themselves such questions as those. As the author Chinua Achebe would say, turning and turning in the ordering gear, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Indeed, they are turning and turning in the widening gear, which is the place of work. The falcon being the Zambian and the falconer being the Chinese. They have met together in that turning and widening gear. What is it they ought to do? It is one of them to reduce himself, to get along with what the other is saying. But in this manner, the worker or the servant has to reduce himself so that he might understand what the master is talking about. What is it they ought to do? We ought to familiarize ourselves with the kind of work we are doing. We ought to get along with the skills we have in us. If at all, we ought to understand the language barriers that we incur. We ought at the same time get to know very well where the tools of operation are. What is it? What role do I play? If we get to internalize all that, we are going to understand and break the barriers that we are facing in language. This is very important to all of us all. Otherwise, mastering the job and the specifications and the descriptions also plays a pivotal role. That is what we have to do. We work that way, and we have come to understand it that way. Ladies and gentlemen, in the execution of duties, the Chinese have got exceptional qualities. That which they exhume from their cultural heritages, like the one we are celebrating today. One of the qualities we ought to point out here is number one, job absorption. The Chinese have come to absorb the job. They absorb indeed also the work. They absorb their tasks as well. Because job, work and tasks are also different. It is by this absorption that they are able to do better. These are the same people who have come to prove Peter not wrong, who says, as I quote, There's no point in work if you cannot internalize it and absorb it as an absorbing agent. But then they have come to say that there's no way I can absorb the job. There's no way the job can absorb me, rather. But it is me to absorb the job. They make the job to become part of them. They make the skills to be part of them. That is why they are doing better. They do better when they stand on a particular job and task. Number 2 point I want to write here is standing on what they know is right. They tend to stand on what they know is right. Always proactive and not reactive. They foresee what is ahead of them. They see what is coming ahead in the future. They are always microscopic and not myopic. These are the people they are. They see things on the broader picture. They visualize it, what is coming their way. That is the Chinese culture for you. A culture worthy to get along with. If we cannot get along with this kind of culture, what else can we embrace? This is the culture indeed, worth it. Worth it indeed. Allow me also to go to point number 3 as the quality that which the Chinese have in them. Objectivity and not subjectivity. They are so objective and not subjective. They do not depend on feelings to drive their productivity. They depend on action. They have to get down to work. They act on things. Yes, sometimes they can react, but they cannot act according to feelings. Reaction and action are two different things. That is who they are. And they have stood on that. On the other hand, ladies and gentlemen, upon entering the beautiful borders of Zambia, all that will welcome you is the beautiful and peaceful atmosphere. Seeing people who are so humorous, with a sense of humor in them, always smiling at you. That is the people Zambians are. Providing a better environment, a better place for transaction, a better place where marketers can say niching is better and also mass marketing is better. That is the environment Zambians have created. This is indeed the Zambians you shall continue to see. Even as we celebrate this Moon Festival, we implore you, our Chinese colleagues, to embrace also the culture of Zambians with a sense of humor, non-violent personnel. That is the people they are. Working hand in hand with them, you never go wrong. In summing up this all, I would say indeed, I will forever echo the culture of the Chinese who have taught me on how to plan things, do things, and move according to plan. What a culture of the Chinese. Indeed, you are the reason for this season. You are indispensable. You are immovable. You are indescribable. You are inexplicable. Thumbs up unto you, China. Kudos to you all. Shalom, shalom. Thank you.
Okay.